In this video, I'll go over why I think microinverters are a bad choice for residential solar. Stick around for the details. So you're going solar and you're researching it and you're looking into all the different technology that goes into it, and you've come across inverters and you've done your research and you've talked to solar guys and everybody's telling you conflicting things, but a lot of people are telling you that microinverters are the way to go, and they are not. Let me tell you why. So microinverters were invented to solve the shade problem because solar is wired in a way where if one panel gets shade, then all of the panels in that string on that array will also act as if they are shaded. And so microinverters are actually a good solution to this problem, and they do solve that problem. However, there's other technology that solves it just as well and doesn't introduce the problems that microinverters do. So what are the problems with microinverters? It all starts with the fact that the inverter is actually doing a hard job in the whole solar system. It's the one part of the system that's really probably going to fail in the lifetime of the solar system because it's doing such a hard job. It's inverting the electricity from DC to AC so it can run in your house and on the grid. And that is a necessary step. But shrinking that technology down and putting it under every single panel is not necessary. You do want to have, in my opinion, and should have, panel level technology that allows you to look at the particular panel's production to see if it's working or not. And also, in order to satisfy the electrical code here in the United States, you have to have modular level electronics that will be safe for for arcing and also for rapid shutdown. Now, I guess there are some technologies out there that are sort of skating around this, but really, in order to be really safe, you do need to have that modular level electronic at the panel level. And because you have that, it allows you to also have insight into each panel's performance, et cetera, et cetera. But having the inverter there is not necessary. And in my opinion, shrinking that technology down and putting them all over your roof instead of having one or two that's centrally located is a bad choice. Why? Well, as I said, the inverter is very likely going to fail at some point during the 25 or more years that you have your solar system. And so if you have a microinverter under every single panel on your roof, at some point, a bunch of them are going to fail, and maybe all of them, and you're going to have somebody get up on that roof and fix them. And in today's economy and in today's climate, it's really hard to get people to come out to your house to service anything, much less your solar. So if you get microinverters, you're just going to have to really rely on that installer, hope they're still in business when you need help, and hope they're not going to charge you a whole lot no matter what the warranties say, and hope that they're actually going to come out and fix just one when it's down rather than waiting for there to be 5 or 10 of them down so that so that it's just one trip for them and they don't lose as much money. The reason that they lose money on this is because they have to send out an electrician. Electricians are expensive, and the warranties from the manufacturers are only going to pay them a very, very small amount. So very likely the cost of having that solar company come out and fix your microinverters is going to fall on you, the consumer. And you may not even be able to get somebody to come out at all. And you may just have permanently 15, 20, 30% of your system down over time. And that, I think, is a really bad choice, obviously, for the consumer. So another thing that I think is really not a good thing about microinverters is that microinverters invert at the panel level. So rather than having DC come off the roof, you have AC coming off the roof. And when you have AC coming off the roof, you can't really efficiently couple it with a battery. You can couple it with a battery, but you need to invert it again to get it into the battery because batteries are DC. And then to pull it back out of the battery, you have to invert it a third time. So that's obviously incredibly inefficient. But beyond that, it actually handicaps your solar battery system tremendously, because let's just say the power goes out at 6 a.m. and you turn your battery system on to run your house for the day, and the sun is shining all day long, hitting those solar panels, and would be producing electricity if you had a DC coupled battery system. But if you have microinverters, you're going to have an AC coupled battery system, which means that sunshine hitting those solar panels is creating electricity that you are not getting because it's going nowhere, because you're pulling electricity from your battery through the inverter, and you can't have electricity go through the inverter both ways. So with an AC coupled battery system, you cannot charge the battery while you're discharging the battery. So that's obviously a huge handicap. Whereas if you use a different technology and have a DC coupled battery system, you can have the solar electricity go directly into the battery, not have to be inverted, and just be pulled through the inverter when needed. So as you're depleting the battery, the sun shining on your solar panels can be filling it back up at the same time. Not only is it more efficient just on the face of it because you're not inverting it 3 times, it's also tremendously more efficient because you can actually use the battery while the sun is shining and still be replenishing it with the solar. Also, in my opinion, microinverters are going to clip more than other available technologies. So all inverter technologies are going to show some clipping. What clipping is it when the system is maxed out and producing as much electricity as it possibly can, the pipeline, if you will, of the inverter is going to be a limited size, and so some of that electricity will be lost at peak times. And when you have microinverters, you're doing it at each individual panel, so as each panel peaks, you get clipping. Whereas if you have a DC optimized system where you have DC coming off the roof to a central inverter, it's like a bigger pool, so all the panels have to fill up the entire pool before it spills that extra electricity and gets clipping. So you will still get clipping with that system, you'll just get less. So for all of those reasons, I think that microinverters are pretty much always a bad choice for the consumer. If you're still looking into solar and maybe batteries, perhaps I can help you. Just click on the link below and I'll give you a free 30-minute consultation and answer all your questions about solar. If you found this video helpful, you may find some of my other videos helpful.